Hello and welcome to In Stitches. Today I'm going to show you how to thread this Bernette 610D made for Bernina. It's a 4-thread overlocker, or otherwise known as a serger. I'll quite often refer to them as an overlocker, so yeah, please excuse that if you know them as sergers. This machine has just been serviced. It's got a set of brand new needles in it. Everything is running just fine with the machine, and so I'll just start off by explaining about the mast here. So the first thing you want to do when you're threading your serger is you want to make sure that the thread mast is directly in line. So each one of these loops here is directly in line with the spool pin there, all the way across for every single spool pin. And then you extend the mast to its full height. So just come up and retain the orientation. So you don't want it to be off, I'm exaggerating that. You don't want it to be 90 degrees off. That's going to be really bad. The other thing I see too is also having it 180 degrees out, so it doesn't quite line up properly there. You can see that this one is way over here, so it's not directly above here. And you just want to make sure that that's nicely lined up. Some sergers will have a locator that will pop it into the correct place, the little locators on the mast, and you can twist it to locate those in properly, but just make sure of that. And we've got 4 different colors here, just as an ease of threading. Quite an easy machine to thread these. But you can see there we've got the red for the lower looper, blue for the upper looper, green for the right needle, and yellow for the left needle. Now you can also use these in 3-thread configuration just by removing either the left needle or the right needle, depending on how wide you want your seam, and then you just thread it appropriately with these threads here. Now I'm going to be threading today with the appropriate colors as seen here, just to make it clearer. So just load your spools. I'm just using run-of-the-mill thread here. It's not the greatest of quality, but just to show you with the different colors there. Load the spools up, and we'll start with the upper looper. You can start with the lower looper. Definitely don't start with your needles. Leave those till last. Just thread your 2 loopers first. As I say, you can choose which one to thread. I generally always start with the lower looper. It's just a habit, but some people say you should always start with the upper looper. I don't really see why, but anyway, I'll go ahead and start by threading the upper looper here, and that's just a matter of lying the thread through that loop there, this one here. This machine is similar to many other machines in some respects. I'll just get my light on there. Now, yeah, you can see the thread, it's just blocked there. Coming down, we're going to go to the blue here. So we want to come down this slot here, but before we do so, we've got a little thread guide on the back that you can just pull in on this particular model from right to left there, into that little thread guide, down through the slot. Now the important thing with threading these is making sure that your thread goes in between the tension discs. Most machines are designed so that it will. This particular machine, when you have the presser foot lifted, so I've got the presser foot down at the moment, but if you lift the presser foot, it will release the tension on the tension discs, which is quite handy. Because if the tension is not released, what can happen is the thread can actually just go around, lie over the top of the thread, the tension discs, so it's not actually being clamped at all. If you've got a machine that doesn't release the tension when you lift the presser foot like this machine, what you can do is don't touch the tension. I've seen some suggestions that you should put your tension down on 0. I don't see the point, when all it takes is, you could upset your tension, just maybe by not putting it back to where it was. I don't really subscribe to that method. I don't like it. I would hold firmly the thread at the back here, and then when you're bringing this down through the slot, just make sure that you pull the thread down into the slot there. I'm pulling quite hard down there. Presser foot is down, so we've got tension on the tensioners here. So just literally pull down like that, making sure that the thread goes right in between the discs. It's very important you do that with all 4 threads there. If you've got the dial type ones, do the same sort of thing, where you just go around the tension disc. You can, if you want to, do your lower looper thread through the mast there at this stage. It doesn't really matter too much. You can come in to that guide there and you can lie that thread in there ready to go once you've done your upper looper. You could do the same thing with your needle threads if you want to. Just bring them down to here. Opening the front door here, just put your thumb in there and push it to the right, and that door will just pop out like that, swing out like that there. But I'll show you the loopers now. So this particular machine's got color guided spots here so that you know where the thread path is. So we'll start here, and you can see that it just sits down in the groove here. I've got a very good set of tweezers, which is essential. Quite often you'll find your machine will come with a set of tweezers, maybe inside the front door. You've also got a handy threading diagram here which shows you the thread path there. So that thread path there, that one there, is referring to this. That's the first eyelet there, and then you've got this one here is your next eyelet. You can see over here you've got the blue dot on this eyelet here, and then you've got, it comes up to the, it doesn't actually show there that it goes through this eyelet next, and then it comes up to this eyelet here on the upper looper shaft there. That's this one here, and then through the eye of the looper it's this one here. Okay, so we're just following that path there. And these particular machines, you can pull the thread from right to left through the eyelet there, that first one. And for the second eyelet, you can actually just hold with the tweezers. You don't have to hold with your fingers on the right side, and just pull it up under there like that. That's done, and then you come up to this one here, that one just over that. So the easiest way to do this one here is just to bring the thread around to the left there, in behind and through like that. And then it's a matter of threading the looper eye there. So we'll come across to the looper eye here. You can turn your machine in operating direction. If you can't see the looper eye, you know, it might be down here and behind the other looper. Just turn the machine so that you can see the looper there and get to it easily. I like to get my thread like that and double it over and twist like that, and it just makes the thread a little bit more stable, and it's nice and easy to thread your looper eyes with it like this. You can't thread your needle eyes, it's too thick for your needle eyes, but certainly good for threading your loopers. And just come in from front to back there, lift your presser foot if it's not already lifted, and I come in and I just bring the thread down under the plate, under the presser foot, sorry. Just bring the thread under that presser foot like that, and sort of just bring it out the back on an angle, on this angle here. And I do that with all of the threads. It just makes starting the seam a lot easier. And you might just want to double check, because you can see here that the thread is actually popped out of this little guide here. So you sort of want to be checking as you go that, you know, the thread has actually gone where it's supposed to. It just popped out there while I was threading that looper eye. So double check that, and it should be just running through these eyelets just nicely. Just double check that you've got everything in there. Make sure you've got your thread pulled down in between your tension discs there. So now it's a matter of threading the lower looper, that's the red one, and on this particular model, it's very handy, you can actually swing out this whole cutting blade mechanism here. This whole front section swings out, and that is to give you access, nice easy access to the lower looper here, where you've got a looper eye on the left hand side, and you've got this one here. That one there is reasonably easy to get to, but the one on the left is not so easy. So what you can do with this model is you pull this little lever forward towards you. It's got a little arrow there, and this whole thing swings out, and that gives you access to the looper here for threading, nice and easy. And it is extremely easy to thread. So let's go ahead and just pick up from where we left off here with the red one. Got the thread, it's pulled down in between the tension discs here. There is another tensioner down in here as well, so it would pay probably to lift the foot on this particular one and make sure that it's running through the slot there. And then if we come down here, we can see it's the same deal as the upper looper thread there, through that eyelet there. And if we come across, again, we can refer to our threading diagram here. Also, if you're not sure, you can take a look in the manual as well. But just come from this here down to the first or the second eyelet there, just up from the bottom there, nice and easy. So we've come in through the second one. We need to go to the third one here. You can pull it in from the left side to the right, and behind that little eyelet there, it just hooks in, and then you come up to your left hand side of your looper, hook it in behind there. There's also another little loop there as well. You might just be able to see that there, like that. If you turn your machine over, you can see the looper eye just here. I would bring it so that this looper here is above that looper. It just gives you better access to the thread there. And again, I'll use the twist method for making the thread easy to get through that eye there. Go through the eye of the looper from front to back. Sorry, just doing this around a camera is a little bit more awkward than I'm trying not to bump the camera as well. There we go. So it's through the looper eye there, and we should be able to just pick it up from the back there. Again, underneath that top looper, just come in and pick up that thread there, and we just want to do the same thing we did with the top looper thread and just bring it out under the presser foot here, same direction. Also check that this sort of thing doesn't happen here. You see that I've just, with a little bit of slack there, it's looped around here. Make sure, double check that, make sure that everything is going through the appropriate thread path there. Double check your work. You can pull the thread out like this, you know. Creates a little bit of tension here, just to make sure you can double check everything there. So then we can close the front door there. We're all done as far as the two loopers are concerned. So yep, now we can close the door here, literally just let it swing back in, and it'll just pop back into place there. Okay, now it's time to move on to the needle threads. I'm just going up through the loop there, just like that. You can do both of these if you want, like that, and then come in through your guides there. Do the same thing here with the thread, just pull it down through there, make sure that's got tension on it, just pull it down like so, make sure the thread's going in between the discs. And this is our right needle thread, so just in behind this little loop here, hook it around from the right side, and you just basically follow the green dot again. So you want to go underneath this here, but over top of these ones, like that. So you go under this one and over these here, and you do that with both of the threads. So the right needle, we just hook in to this guide here, around to the right side and behind that thread guide just above the needles there, and you're ready to thread that. But I would actually do the other thread, the left needle thread, next. Pretty much the same deal with this one. In behind and around that guide, just down here and around that guide there, again under there, over there, and around to the left side for the left needle. So you should have your threads, both of your threads, coming out of the thread guides here, and then you can just thread your needles front to back. Trim them off with a good pair of scissors, and I like to come down and go under the foot again. Just feed it down there, grab it from behind and under the foot again. So that one's just popped out, that left needle thread had popped out of the guide there, so just double check that again, and thread from front to back for that one, and again I just pop that down and bring it under. And this is a nice way of starting your seam. As you'll see, you've got all of your threads, all 4 of them, coming out to the left rear of the machine there. Okay, so we're ready to start sewing there. Okay, I've got the machine plugged in and turned on, and with the presser foot up we should be able to just slowly chain out. You can turn by hand in operating direction. Have a look on your hand wheel, it'll have the direction arrow generally on there. If you're not sure, just consult your manual. But I'd like to turn over a few times by hand just to make sure everything's in order there, and then we can start chaining. Just like that there. It looks a little bit loose, but that'll be okay. And then we can just get a piece of scrap material and press the foot down, and we're ready there. Press the foot's down, let's go. Stitch length is a bit long. Tensions definitely need looking at there. I won't go into tension in this video, but suffice it to say that everything is running as it should, albeit the tension needs sorting. The other thing to check also, if you're having tension issues, is make sure the machine is threaded correctly. Just go through and double check that everything's in order here, and with your needle threads as well. That's it for this threading tutorial on the Bernette 610D. Hope you found that helpful, and thank you as always to my patrons for your support, and thank you very much for watching.